sounds.
Cheers! Welcome to Almost Rich, Almost Famous with Bets and Bridge. If you guys have been listening since the beginning, or actually just even started listening last week, I'm sure that you've caught on that Betsy and I are different on basically every aspect in life, and that includes the shows that we watch. So while Betsy is watching like weird murder mysteries and documentaries, I'm watching shows like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. So when I'm watching last season of The Bachelorette with Katie Thurston, I see, wait a minute, there's a guy from Akron on here. I tell Betsy about it, and she's like, oh yeah, Michael Alio, yeah, I went to grade school with him. Oh, okay. So I know Michael Alio as the one that America fell in love with on The Bachelorette, and Betsy knows him from St. Hilary Grade School.
Yes, that's right.
So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I'd like to say this is my first and best booking on the podcast. Bridget has gotten all of our prior athletes who were also amazing, but I'm so happy to have Michael A. on our pod today. So thank you so much for joining us.
And who was supposed to fill my spot?
Well, it wasn't supposed to fill your spot.
Who said no?
Well, no one said no.
No
one said. He's referring to Bone Thugs and Harmony. I have been all in the Bone Thugs and Harmony DMs recently. Lazy Bone keeps putting me off. We're going to get him one day. But I'm so excited to have you here. Bridget is beside herself, by the way.
Okay.
Just for the record, I'm filling in for Lazy Bone.
Hey, that's a good person to fill in for, right?
Oh, big fan of Lazy Bone.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally.
For sure.
Yes.
Okay, so again, big fan of The Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Yeah.
And so Betsy also hates that I say that America fell in love with you. And she's like, what does that even mean? I'm like, well, everyone always has their one favorite. And the one that America loves the most typically ends up going on to be The Bachelor or the next Bachelorette. I'm like, Betsy, this is your friend? Like, how? Do you know him? She's like, well, I'll just text him to see if he wants to come on. I'm like, back up. Text him?
Yeah.
Like, you've got his number?
Why didn't you reach out like earlier?
Well,
you
she
just didn't put it together.
I didn't put it together, but also Bridget and I have like 15 jobs that we do, and this is our favorite one, obviously, certainly. But we never really like thought about it. And again, I didn't watch The Bachelor this season.
Yeah.
I used to watch The Bachelor literally when it first started, when like Alex, who you wouldn't know,
No.
Did you used to watch The Bachelor?
So Laura used to watch it like religiously. I think she started watching it. I think it was Juan Pablo's season.
Oh, okay.
The worst one.
Well, I don't agree with that because
his favorite season.
It's actually my favorite season because this is the first time I started watching the show, and I didn't watch it like religiously. It was on and off. Like I've missed seasons. I haven't seen like Pilot Pete's or like other people's that have gone on.
I can tell you all about them.
Yeah. I mean, they're locked in the archives forever.
Totally.
But like Laura would watch something like after work, and I would go in my other room, and we'd like spend like the evenings apart. And it's like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
So started watching that, like started developing opinions about people like really quickly, and like tactics, and like
sucks you in.
Oh, crazy. It really sucks you in, and it's really funny too because Laura used to be like, you should totally like fake divorce, go on the show, like come full circle, come on back, and like. Yeah, and like game the system. I'm like, that's ruthless. Like you're playing with people's lives, like their hearts. Like you're sick.
So let's take a little step back. Laura is your late wife.
Yes.
Passed away with her battle with breast cancer.
Yes.
So sorry to hear that. But how crazy is that this all came full circle? You and Laura used to joke about this, and then you're like, hey,
here you are.
I'm here.
Yeah,
on The Bachelor.
Yeah, it's wild. I think anybody that's ever lost somebody, they're always looking for signs, and some are like not as obvious as others. And this would have been, probably end of January 2019. So, yeah, it was almost 1 year to the date when 2020. 1 year to the date when Laura passed away. And so I was like, they reached out to me on Instagram. I didn't apply, wasn't nominated. Like
that was our question. How did you get on?
So it's kind of crazy. Nothing's really like this random walk. But after Laura passed away, I started a charity called the L4 Project, and basically it raises money through the sale of like online merchandise. We partner with cancer centers and hospitals and all of that and all proceeds go to charity. And the head casting director, her husband was developing an app for nonprofits. And so on Instagram, I came up as somebody that they should know. Then the digging began, then the reach out.
Okay. So,
Because at first I was like, did my mom nominate me? Like, this is super embarrassing.
Right, totally.
So they DM'd you. They did not call you. They didn't email me. You open up Instagram and you're like, why do I have this DM from a producer of The Bachelor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at
Did
first...
you think it was fake at first?
I mean, not really, because I looked into who was sending it to
Yeah.
me. But it didn't say, casting director for The Bachelor. But at first I was like, just because of my age, I thought it was, Jeopardy or something. I didn't
Really?
think it was
At
this.
37?
Yeah.
Jeopardy?
I mean...
You were a prime candidate for The Bachelor. I feel like
God.
you're cute, you're smart, you got your own business.
Thank you.
Like,
this is
you
why,
have this
is why I hang
beautiful
out
kid.
with Bets.
Have this beautiful
Boost me.
kid. Yes,
Yeah.
totally. So, okay, so when they reach out to you, are you like, oh, hell no?
Yes.
Like,
Twice.
Really?
Yeah, so originally when they reached out, I was like, send me the paperwork, because I think there is a lot of mystique around this show. Mm-hmm. What are the rules? What are the paperwork? There's a lot of people that try to get on. They're trying to figure out ways of gaming the casting process, or people try to game it when they're on the show too.
Right,
yeah.
So I was like, let me just see the paperwork. Worst comes to worst, at least I get to see the paperwork. And then, I filled out the paperwork, sent it in, coasted through a bunch of the interviews and stuff like that. Then I got really cold feet again, and I told them no. And then they convinced me to jump back on. And it was actually a crazy time because, lost my wife, COVID going on,
Right.
it was it just felt like a perfect time to take a risk. And so I jumped in, and then 1 month later I'm in Albuquerque.
And the fact that they were pursuing you so hard, that had to have been a sign to you. Okay, why are they still reaching out even after I said no? Maybe this is a sign I should go on.
It was more or less this is Laura's favorite show, and
Of all
she
time.
had in the past said you should go on this.
While you're together.
Yeah,
Here's the line.
it was, and it's a frightening experience, and it just felt like if I deafened that noise and her voice out, that I would have been wondering what if.
Yep.
So it was a difficult thing to do because, obviously lost my wife, have a child at home, have professional responsibilities, had to abandon a decent amount of stuff for, a couple months. But, sometimes you just got to bet on yourself, take a risk, especially sometimes the older you get too, because you gotta keep things fresh.
Who was the first person you told?
I told my mom and my sister Bryn and my brother Alex first, and my dad right off the bat. And I didn't tell them right in the beginning. I told them when I was teetering on whether or not to do it, because I just wanted to hear their feedback. And that's a difficult thing too, is trying to get consensus. But for me, I'm always trying to get the people I trust around me and stuff like that. But my gut was just saying go on the show, and they were all supportive. Everyone was supportive once I made the decision. So.
And did you know that it was Katie as the Bachelorette when you agreed to go on?
Yeah. So I flew out March 12th, which was a Friday, and on March 11th, the Thursday, production called me. They're like, "You ready to get on your plane, dude? Time of your life, love journey, da 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 da."
Love journey.
Love journeys. Yeah, one-way ticket to the love pass.
This is so weird.
Crazy, and they call me the day before, and they're like, "You ready to get on your plane?" And I was like, "I told you guys, I'm not getting on the plane unless you tell me who the hell I'm going to be meeting."
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, I'm 37, widowed. If the other person at the end of that's 22, she doesn't even work in my life. What am I doing?
Right. Yeah.
It's just not a good idea. So I did know it was Katie prior to going, but I was probably the only one.
And did you go into it thinking, wow, this could be my next wife, I could actually fall in love?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like when I was actually doing the interview process, I requested Katie.
You did?
Yeah.
So what was it about her that you were like, yeah, I feel like I will connect with her?
She had a lot of similar characteristics to Laura.
Okay.
Like, like smart, but also, the ability to kind of be crass and be funny and not take yourselves too seriously, but, ambition, like all of these different types of things that, I don't know, made Katie special, and, Laura made me fall in love with those traits.
Yeah.
Right.
So there was just a lot of similarities that just felt very familiar. Like I think if there was like this beauty pageant girl that showed up in a crown kind of deal and like a sash, like
she's out.
I'm like,
up?
I probably like a turnaround thing. And no offense to that, it's just not it's just not my type.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that was more of, oh man, I hit a funny bone here. Why don't you tell us about your biggest win on the pageant stage?
Okay, she was Miss Teen USA.
Oh,
Miss Ohio Teen.
Yeah,
Miss Ohio Teen.
just for the
Same
state,
shit.
you guys.
Same
Just
shit.
for the state. Ellie LaForest won the whole thing. I was just Miss Ohio Teen USA.
Okay, you weren't just. You were.
I represent the whole state of Ohio.
Yeah.
We're all from Ohio.
Yes.
We're just a few kids from Akron, after all.
That's it.
That was it.
That was it.
That was a joke.
That really wasn't a joke.
No,
though.
it's just like
it's
though.
more
It's
of a
clever.
statement. And you blended it in well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, stop you guys. I have a
See-
corny joke to say. I slipped it into conversation. But there's a few things
now
that
she's
Betsy...
I'm sorry. She's going to continue to keep doing this because she was like, Michael A. thought it was funny.
Yeah, right. Well, that's your problem
I don't
now.
call him Michael A, by the way. I feel like we're at a different level now.
Yeah.
Now it's
Yeah.
Michael Allion. Call my full name.
Yeah.
I think you could probably just call him Michael or Mike.
Yes,
or,
yes. There's no other Michaels that need the
Yeah.
initial here.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it was one and done
Sure.
for me, okay? Miss
Cool.
Ohio Teen USA. It was a million years ago. I would not show up to the Bachelor or Bachelorette with the crown and sash on. Let's get that straight.
Yes. That is
Past
down.
life of...
Okay,
Yes.
okay. How would you show up and how did you show up?
Oh, great question. I forget. I think you were pretty normal.
Yeah.
No costumes.
No costumes, no gimmicks. Basically, I walked up to her. I need to rewatch these episodes because people would pile in my house every Monday,
Oh my God.
uninvited. I was coaching James's T-ball league, and James his T-ball games got done at 8:00, and that's exactly when it airs. So I bring him back from Wobble, and go back, and there'd be a bunch of people there, drinking all my booze, eating all my food.
Yeah.
It's his friends, family.
Yeah.
Neighbors.
I don't know.
Whoever.
Yeah, and they would stay
Random guy
late
down the
every
street.
Monday.
Yeah.
So I need to rewatch these episodes, but got out of the limo, and it's weird because we were in quarantine for a while for 12 days straight, and then finally you have human interaction, so you get in the limo with a handful of guys. You're just jabbing, it's so good to see human life.
Yeah,
You've been in solitary confinement.
Yeah.
Then I'm the first one out of our limo, and it's a blinding lights, man. I couldn't even find Katie. I'm I was
You would never know watching TV.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was Stevie Wonder, playing the keyboard. I was just where are you? And she's like, hello,
Where are you?
Over
It's
here.
like a long walk.
It's not that long. It was, probably 20 yards or something,
Oh, okay.
15 yards. But then I finally dial in on her, start walking, and then I ended up handing her a timepiece, and I told her the importance of time, spend it wisely. I told her find the person you're supposed to be with, whether or not it's me or not. And I also told her that it was a family heirloom that's been in our family for
You gave that to her?
for 100 years. But no, I actually got it at the airport, on the way there, and I told her I'm not a psychopath. I'm not gonna give you my family stuff.
I was about to say,
met you.
wait, I thought you were
I was
normal
like,
up until this point.
Yeah,
It's
right.
family
No.
heirloom to a complete stranger.
No, he's a complete stranger. No, she doesn't get that.
Oh.
You gotta earn Nana's.
Is this
precious.
a real thing though? Did you make this story up, or is it a real thing? There is this family heirloom
Oh
timepiece.
no!
that-
I just made it up. I was actually on
makes me so happy.
the flight. I was on the flight from Cleveland to Albuquerque, and it was at one of these gift shop
Yeah.
stores,
You're
and I
this
just
is it.
I snagged it, and I was maybe I can do something with this. I gotta have a trinket.
Sure
Wow,
could.
I like
Yeah.
So I have so many questions about once you're there. So we see what we see on TV. I know that there's a lot of producer edits. There's like always the villain. There's one that America falls in love with. That's great that you fell into that. Did you expect to be portrayed as that?
I really had no idea what was going on the entire time.
You didn't?
No. They'd be like, Michael, like, be over here. There's a lot of interviews. Mm-hmm. One thing I did catch up on really quickly, though, and if you watch the show, like, I grow, like, some beard out, then I shave, like, my look constantly is changing. I actually did that on purpose because I didn't want to be a victim to an edit.
Yeah.
So sometimes...
Wow.
Yeah.
That was really smart. You thought about this, obviously, prior.
I'm actually shocked. That is
Yeah.
very smart thinking right there.
Yeah.
So-
you guys are the first ones to actually know that.
Exclusive.
But
area.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. Breaking news. But honestly, like, the producers, in my opinion, and given, I came out of the show being able to tell my story with, I guess you would call a favorable edit. I don't believe they have like a bad bone in their body. They are trying to condense, 2 months, 3 months of around the clock footage, conversation into, basically 20 hours, less than that,
Yeah.
like probably 15 hours of footage. So it's like they have to pick and choose like storylines, and they naturally start to develop.
And to have good reality TV, you need to have that villain. If there's no drama, no one wants to watch.
Right.
Totally.
As much as I think people say like, why can't it just be about love? Like, I mean, ABC collects the data. You are what you eat.
Yeah.
Like, they can tell when
Yeah.
things spike. So, there is drama that naturally occurs, but at the same time, like, all the guys were amazing.
Yeah.
Like, Katie was awesome. The experience was really, really cool. Like, something I normally never would have even thought to have done. So,
Have you spoken to her since?
Yeah.
You have?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're like, cool.
Oh,
like,
we're super, super cool.
Like, is
Yeah.
there, like, any kind of
No.
love connection?
No.
Her and Blake are now done.
I just heard that.
It literally just broke
Like,
yesterday.
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
are you secretly happy?
Am I secretly happy?
Well, that, like, she's, like, on
Available?
the market. Are you on the market? I guess it was a while ago.
Yeah.
Like, what's the story?
I mean, honestly, I thought, here's the thing. When you're in the show, like, we don't get to see other people's, like, one-on-one dates. We don't get to see connections happening, and guys don't talk.
Right.
Like, they're not coming back from something and saying, like, oh my God, this happened. Like, so you have no idea where anybody
Yeah.
stands, and you naturally think that you have the greatest
Connection,
relationship and the soul connection.
Right.
And everyone else is just playing second fiddle.
Yeah.
But then you watch it on TV and you really see, like, that these people, they are vibing. Like, there was, Katie had very strong feelings for, like, 5 different dudes.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I mean, I thought Katie and Blake really were perfect together. I'm not even joking. Like, I thought it totally worked. And I was surprised to see that it, didn't. And I feel really bad for them, too, because they're people, man.
Yeah.
A breakup in public is really difficult, and I think sometimes people love to, burn people at the stakes, or I told you so, or should have been this, that, or the other. Like, people go through pain, so it's like, show a little sympathy. Like, if you ever had a breakup in private, imagine it in front of millions of people. It's a lot.
Well, I noticed you avoided the other question, so if, like, you can say no comment if you want. Are you dating anyone now?
No, I'm not.
There aren't a lot of eligible ladies in Akron, Ohio.
Well, I mean, just like after the show and stuff, I've just kind of taken a break from dating. Like, there's just a ton on my plate, and there is almost like this decompression period that has to kind of happen. And so it's like, I mean, I'm happy I did that, and it's like I just want to. Things will kind of settle where they're supposed to.
I know. Let's talk about post-Bachelor life. So you go from a guy from Akron, or just just a few
oh my God.
kids
Gave her
from
the
Akron.
Gave her the green light, and here she goes again.
I'm just going to keep mentioning it as many times as I can on this
Rob
podcast.
is his name. He gets it.
Yeah, see,
So
Rob also
annoying.
thinks that I'm a lunatic, but I'm glad that Michael laughs with me at this. Okay, so you go from that. But then literally overnight, all of a sudden, you gain all these social media followers. I'm sure you're getting crazy DMs. You're getting asked to be on podcasts, like this huge one that you're on right now, Almost Rich, Almost Famous.
I'm like a little bit starstruck, ladies.
I get it.
Like
I get
seeing you,
like,
being here,
more nervous than like Good Morning America.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm sweating.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Most of our guests are like that. For whatever reason, Lazy Bone doesn't want to experience it. Maybe one of these days he will.
Lazy, if you're listening, you got to come on this podcast.
Like,
I'm telling you, it's once in a lifetime experience.
I'm sure he watched you on season 76.
100%.
The Bachelor.
100%.
Michael A. from The Bachelor, Lazy Bone. He's talking direct to you.
Repping Northeast Ohio, Lazy. Come on up.
Well, and Eminem, if you're watching too, like, you're a great one after Lazy to get us warmed up in the whole rapping game.
Right.
Okay, but seriously, so I know that you probably have gotten a lot of crazy DMs. What's the craziest one you've gotten?
Oh.
Give us the goods.
Yeah,
Like the real goods.
Like any nudes?
Of course.
Oh, like
yeah.
Okay, so I people send crazy shit, obviously, we all know.
Yes.
So like when those photos come across, they typically come across
blurred
out.
Right.
Do you click on them because you want to see like what's going on?
Here's the thing. When
it's a yes or no question.
Well, no.
Yes.
There's a reason. My DMs, they're like flooded with like cancer survivors, widowers, like all of these different things. So literally people are sending me pictures all the time. Sometimes it's like a mom and her child at like a cancer clinic. Like sometimes it's like something, and it could be a nude. Like that is really the spectrum I'm working on. Yeah. And so it's like, what's this gonna be?
Yeah.
And you really don't know.
Oh, that's such a fun game. Can we play that when this is over?
Yeah.
When this is done, can we just like click on the picture and see what they are?
I would really like to see some of these DMs.
Sounds.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so any of these, I guess, inappropriate photos that you've received on Instagram, have any of them sparked your interest? Or are you like, why are you sending me this?
I'm more intrigued on why someone like angles, like how was this your first take? Like, is there a filter? Is like, are you like, is someone else taking this for you?
Yeah.
Like I thought social media like completely like eluded me. Like I think Facebook came to my college in like 2002.
Yeah.
So I never had to do any of this. I was never doing like the skinny arm and the duck face and all that stuff. Like,
I love a good skinny
not
arm.
doing.
I don't know that one. I need to figure that one out.
Don't know anything about it, and so I thought I got away from it, and then all of it. Yeah, there it is. That's the skinny arm. And now it's like there's two parts of my world. There's like the real life stuff that's really hasn't changed. Like I love being in Akron, Northeast Ohio, because people are chill and cool and they're not like overwhelming. And then there's the online stuff, which is always like going. But there's like really good, like meaningful, purposeful stuff in discussions that are being had around, important issues. And that's kind of what I'm trying to facilitate.
So speaking of important issues, have you ever sent a naked photo to somebody?
That was going to be my question. Have you ever reciprocated?
You want to say it at the same time?
Yeah. Literally.
We're very concerned.
No, I never have.
Shut up.
Not one.
Even like faceless?
No.
Like you never just like done one from like neck down or maybe from like hips down?
No.
Why? Have you received any of those?
What, like a neck down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've showed you. Instagram is a wild place. I might not have as many followers as Michael over here, but I certainly get the DMs.
And I'm serious. I'm not even being like a prude. I just, I think.
It's probably smart of you.
I mean,
at this point,
I think the male and female body are just very different aesthetically. Like a big fan of the women's body. Yeah. Like I think it's just it's something a little bit nicer
Bridget
than
feels
the
the
male.
same way.
Thank you for understanding that. When I get those random dick pics, I'm like, I literally, the first one I ever received, I think I was with Betsy, and I look at my phone, and I was like, oh my god, and I threw it, and she's like, oh, hold on, and like zooming in and like checking it out, and I'm like, wait a minute, that is my worst nightmare to receive, and Betsy's like, I mean, it's not the worst.
Like, I wouldn't understand like an unsolicited pic, like a deep pic type deal, like throw it on out there, but like maybe if someone asked for it that you were dating, I could see that, but I just never have done it. Yeah.
So crazy. Okay, so you're living in Northeast Ohio, back in Akron, Ohio, aka Rowdy,
AK
Northside,
Rowdy,
Summit County.
330 stand up.
Thank you. See,
I have to go.
See, we get it. See, he likes all my weird, corny Akron jokes.
Northside Summit County.
So when you're walking around downtown, you go into restaurants, bars, are people like, oh my God, can I get a photo with you? Or do they not bother you?
They really don't bother me. I mean, and if they do, like, I will give, like, 100% of my time to anybody from Akron kind of deal, because it's just an important place to me. But, like, if I'm in, like, a major city with some other people from the cast, that's when chaos kind of ensues. Like, we were just down in Columbus, Ohio for a Buckeyes game, and it was wild. Like, I took, like, Greg there, Andrew, and Trey. Just because
he has no idea who those are, but I know.
And Mikey P.
Wait, I don't know Mikey P. Which one's he?
The Christian guy.
Oh, right.
Yeah, awesome human being. Like, they're all awesome. And
I was going to say, are you still friends with the
group
of guys?
Yeah. There's like this like odd trauma bonding thing that kind of happens where, like, you know, you feel like you had like semi like Stockholm syndrome, like you were kidnapped all together and you couldn't leave, and you're like quarantined, and you're like, nobody understands but you guys. And so, like, you know,
so you're like, no one understands, so I'm going to take you guys to an Ohio State game. Let's celebrate.
And I wanted to show them, you know, Ohio, you know, all the things it has to offer. I'm a proud Buckeye. And, you know, we were actually down there too for a golf outing for a girl that is just unbelievable. She's battling brain cancer, just an incredible human being. She's 8th grade, and she's got like the heart of a lion. So able to raise some money and do some good stuff down there.
That's awesome.
With a hangover.
Yeah, totally. I can imagine after an OSU game.
Well, I was going to say, watching The Bachelor and then watching the Men Tell All episode, like, I know America fell in love with you, but also...
Drinking game. Let's play a drinking game. Whenever Bridget says, hold on. America fell in love with you, we all take a drink.
I got shit to do today. I can't come home bombed.
Okay, I'll just keep saying it over and over again. We'll make sure he leaves here drunk.
Perfect.
Yeah, right.
But all the guys loved you too. So when you were on there, did you realize, like, oh, I'm definitely the most popular?
No, not at all. Like, I kind of it's strange. You develop, like, I was trying to understand the environment, like, get a feel for it, like, get my legs right, because I couldn't tell, like, why people were doing the things they were doing. Yeah. And it's just a little bit different than, like, real life. Like people in my life don't have, like, bad intentions. Like, they don't do things tactfully, and, like, they're not manipulating, and they're not, like, strategic.
Right.
And you're basically thrown into a room where that's exactly what this is. But to be honest, the guys really didn't bite on most of that stuff either. And so it was cool getting to, like, know them. Like, a lot of that stuff will never be shown. But, like, it was, like, the greatest group of guys, like, in the world that were, like, really open, like, are doing amazing things. Like, even though I was, like, the oldest guy with the most life experience, I, like, learned a ton from them.
Well, Bridget has mentioned America falling in love. Drink.
Ding.
But I feel like she's also said that the other guys fell in love with you, as far as, like, you were the coolest, everyone loved you there. What a just strange experience, I feel like, to be coming from Northeast Ohio to being on this show.
National show. Bachelor Nation.
Yeah.
Bachelor Nation. Yeah. Bridget told me I had to say that, by the way. I have to call everyone
How did you
Bachelor.
not watch this season with me on?
That's what I don't understand.
So interesting.
What were you watching?
Like American Horror Story,
awesome
like
show,
documentaries.
but, like, your boy is on it.
I know. I think it was like, I don't know. I had to hear about it in the office every time I went.
Okay, I'm good. Last night on the episode, she's like, okay, Reg, thank you for the update.
I understand not watching it, but, like, if you have a tie to it.
I was so happy when I heard you. My mom called me.
Enough.
Swear.
You didn't watch it.
Listen, I need to tell you this.
You're on the hook.
My mom was so excited. Everyone from St. Hilary, which is where we went to school.
Go Sabres.
Go Sabres. So excited. I knew that I'd hear about it from her because she is so obsessed with it. And I was waiting for her to talk about you. And literally right off the bat, she was like, Michael A. from Akron.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I know him. I'm like, huh?
Well, it was really hard. Like, I remember watching, like, the first 2 episodes, and I looked extremely nervous, and it was difficult because, you know, Katie would ask me about myself and how do I not bring up my history, but also like I didn't have enough time to really discuss it. So, I mean, I went from like quarantine to not being on like the first 3 group dates.
So that one-on-one.
And then I didn't go on the first one-on-one. I just went straight to the second one-on-one. And it was kind of then when I at least had the time
It was then when America fell in love with you.
Well, I was able to like get enough time to just talk openly and honestly. I forgot about the drinking. Rules are rules. And, you know, be able to like get to know her without being thrown into a room with a bunch of cameras.
Okay, I feel like we've talked a lot about The Bachelor, and I could sit here and talk to you hours about it.
I know, I just have so many more questions.
I know, but I'm going to put the spotlight on both of you guys now. Let me get in my hosting role. Okay.
Bridget's a host. This is like
let's
where
go
she really
back.
thrives.
And at this time, we're going to go back to St. Hilary. That was pretty good.
That was pretty.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. All right, we're going back to St. Hilary.
Yes, I'm there right now.
Okay, how old were you guys when you first met?
Well, so you were
Year older.
Year older than me.
Yeah.
But you went from kindergarten
8th grade.
to 8th grade.
Yeah.
Oh,
But so Mike was this super cute, nice guy.
which
like,
he still is.
Which he still, like, shit doesn't change. Like, super cute, nice guy. Everyone had a crush on Mike.
Aw, that's
Were
nice.
you included, Betsy?
Yeah, I always thought you were the cutest. I
Aw,
still think
thank
you're the
you.
cutest and, like, the best.
Thank you.
But super cute, super nice. Like, girls would, like, try to, like, be around Mike because they thought he was so cute. So, yeah.
Look at him. He's like,
News to
like,
me.
Yeah.
right. Okay, so what about Betsy? What was she like?
Betsy, super cute. Also
You guys are boring.
very shy.
Yeah.
What?
I still am, Bridget.
Betsy was Betsy was kind of like a wallflower from like, you know, like back in St. Hilary's, we didn't really like intermingle grades
We didn't.
until maybe like 4th,
Yeah.
5th, 6th.
In, like, the upper classes.
yeah, in the upper classes,
Yeah.
like you were in like a whole nother like quadrant.
Yeah.
But I remember like
I'm so confused with the shy part. I'm like,
she's
mind blown.
super
Bridget,
shy.
you know I'm shy.
Betsy, you okay?
No, but she was like really shy.
That doesn't even make sense. She tries to tell me she's shy. I will say when people like recognize us, I know you're like the real famous one right here, but in Cleveland, we're
Which is
recogni-
painful for
Rob's
her to
the
say.
famous one.
Yeah.
Let's be real here.
Rob, I know
What
he
up, Rob?
totally is. But when we're out and about, and if someone recognizes, it's like, oh my God, Betsy Bridget. Like, she does want to die. And it's like, oh, I hate when people do this. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Do you want
Sure.
a picture? Do you want a picture? Like, I am all about it. She hates it. But I wouldn't say you're shy because, let's put it this way. If someone does me wrong, she's the first one. It's like, who do I need to kill?
Right.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm like
So-
going to be up in their face. Like,
So-
I wouldn't
I mean, that's
consider
your
that
Italian.
shy.
That's the Italian
Oh,
background.
man.
Like, you just come
The
for everybody.
Pugliese
Yeah, totally. You come
coming
for
out.
everybody.
That's shocking she was shy. But okay, so she's been cute her whole life.
Yeah.
She wasn't awkward
I
ever.
didn't really have an awkward stage. I had.
No.
She just.
No.
I was asking Mike, but okay.
I
Did she have an awkward face?
Not that I like remember.
I mean, I wore glasses until like 6th grade, but like it didn't matter.
Yeah, I remember like wearing like turtlenecks when I didn't need to.
She's saying that you were saying that she was shy, and she's sitting here like, oh, awkward face, not me. No. I've been good looking my whole life.
Being shy
Yeah.
and being
Real shy.
confident are two totally separate things.
Right.
By the way,
Mm-hmm. Maybe you were just observant.
I'm very.
Did she
very
ever?
observant.
Well, I know she did. How many times did she get in trouble for her attire at school? I know you went to a Catholic school, as did I growing up.
You know, you rolled that skirt up a few times.
Yeah.
You rolled
How
that
many
Yeah.
times
shit.
did you see her in the principal's office walking by?
I mean, St. Hilary, even though it was a Catholic school, like people were kind of advanced. Like
You
mean,
spruced up your uniforms a little
well, I mean, like
I don't think that's what he meant.
no,
I
that's
think
not what
he-
I meant
think
at
he
all.
meant that people were advanced.
Like
What?
looking to experience life early.
Oh.
Did you experience life early? Would you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, I really didn't experience life that we're talking about until probably later. in
Like
high
this is
school.
almost rich, almost famous. Typically, Betsy's like talking about dicks and
God,
sex and
speaking
all
of
this.
that, I can't wait to get to our one question
yeah,
that,
yeah.
Bridget came up with.
And the reason why, like, I had my foot on the pedal at like an early age, like
Yeah.
I wanted to try everything, like this. I mean, crazy like hunger for like life and like
Yeah.
experience, because I was always like, even though people would tell me like, you know, don't do this, wait for this, like
Yeah.
you got to do it this way. It's like, that's your opinion. Like, I have to actually experience something to come to my own conclusion.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, and that's hurt me in certain circumstances, but it's also
Yeah.
like awarded me in others.
What
So
would you perceive as the craziest thing you've ever done?
I mean, it's definitely going on this show.
Yeah.
Like
so.
I would
So true.
at this time in my life, like
Yeah.
because it's not just going on the show, but it's everything at risk at home and like everything else. Like there was stuff at risk. I mean, you're always worried about, like I'm always worried about like my son. I have businesses, like what's gonna go on? What if I
Yeah.
get like a villain at it and I come back like
Yeah.
ashamed?
Yeah.
You know, how do I do that? And
Right.
so it's like you just take that risk, right?
Yeah. So do you think?
Oh, I got a really crazy story though.
Oh shit.
All right, so get ready for this one.
I'm actually very excited.
So you know the guy, but I'm gonna leave his name out of it.
Oh.
Okay.
Went to Walsh with you.
Okay.
Good friend of mine worked in LA, and one night I was actually out with my buddy, and at the time he was working for Jerry Bruckheimer.
Okay.
And we actually, like, in the middle of the night got this idea to take Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds. We broke into his garage and took Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds. Like, it's a very important car that was in that movie. It's the one Nicolas Cage was, like, trying to steal. And took it for a quick little
And
joyride.
You stole it?
Joyride. Delivered it back. Because he was working for Jerry Bruckheimer at the time, and so the car was actually kind of at the office in the separate like garage kind of deal.
America's sweetheart, but also
I was thinking the irony of the fact that Nicolas Cage couldn't steal this car in the
here you
movie.
But
Michael.
Here we are.
Landon
Like
Bachelor.
that's how like the idea started happening. Was like if Nick Cage couldn't do it, like we could do it.
Michael A. could.
Yeah, me and my buddy could do it, like without a doubt. So yeah, we took it for a whole like little joyride, delivered it, not a scratch on it, but
Oh my god.
boosted a very important car for a quick second.
Very
Yeah.
important car.
Okay, well that might actually top you going on The Bachelorette as the craziest thing you've ever done.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I went back and I interviewed Betsy's class at St. Hilary, in your class at St. Hilary, and said, who would be most likely to be on The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Betsy P. or Michael A., who would they say?
Bets, you know the answer.
No, she actually didn't.
So she asked me this before, and I was like, God, I actually don't know.
Oh,
I was like, great, I'm
I was
gonna
gonna say
ask
you.
Michael.
You were?
Yeah.
I could also say me, but I feel like I would have been the villain at it for sure.
Possibly.
I would have 100%,
Yeah.
which I think is fine because like whatever. But I feel like you
Right.
were so good, and I'm so happy you got this because like Bridget really enjoyed watching it.
Oh,
this
good.
season.
Hey,
Yeah.
Bridget.
I know. I can't believe.
What's up?
Listen, you guys. You know I don't get nervous as I'm looking into the camera. I love being on camera all day
You
long.
really do.
I don't get nervous, and I was being a lunatic today. I'm doing like weird things. We'll show you some videos later. I was doing some weird things. And she's like, "Why are you acting like this?" I'm like, "Because I only know Michael from what I saw on The Bachelorette. It's very difficult for me. Every other guest we've had, again, I booked them. I've interviewed them multiple times. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, no big deal. We'll catch up." Like, I've never met him. Like, I only know him on TV. And she's like, "Bridget, he's just another kid from Akron."
Joe.
She actually didn't say that, but
How is it going so far, Bridge? Are you happy with how it's going?
oh, I think it's going great. How do you feel, Michael?
It's
Well-
life-changing.
Don't ask him. Don't ask him yet.
We have a lightning round.
We have to go through this little lightning round.
All right.
Are you ready? And like you can't think. Like it's
you
got to
just-
be.
Now I'm ready.
It's quick.
Yeah, you just
okay.
gotta like think quick on your
I'm
feet.
ready.
Don't
Okay.
ask questions, follow ups. You just gotta answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Favorite teacher at St. Hilary?
Oh my God, I'm trying to remember them all. Lechen.
Oh my God, Mrs. Letchen, my favorite too. She
What
lived by-
grade?
She lived first grade.
First
She was
grade.
first grade.
Okay. Next, do you believe in love at first sight?
Yeah.
Best looking on your season?
The guys?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I would have to say, I think maybe Christian. Christian was a good looking dude.
I don't even remember him.
Never heard of
Sneaky
him.
good. He went home earlier than I thought.
Okay, I'll have to look back at him.
Looks aren't everything.
Okay. Favorite city in the world?
Barcelona.
Best friend, and you can't say her son.
Jimmy O'Neill.
Okay.
Best friend since first grade.
Yeah, I
Just
remember
got off the
him.
phone with him on the way.
Ah,
Yeah.
fun.
Did you tell him you're coming on our podcast?
No.
Oh,
Lane?
okay.
Fine.
Okay.
We'll
Just
promote
keep-
it after the
I
fact.
mean,
keep moving.
Celebrity crush?
Natalie Portman.
Best bar in Akron.
Akron's got a tough bar scene.
I'd say
I would probably say, Musica is my favorite.
Okay.
So Friday night, Musica in Akron. It's $10 to get in, like $2 beers, 4 like live acts on stage.
Do you pay a cover? Do they not know who you are?
Oh, I'll pay a cover any day of the week for this. Like Akron has a really good live music scene.
Interesting.
Favorite restaurant in Akron, so place to eat.
I love Vaqueros on Gent. Yeah.
Okay, so this question, sorry, this is supposed to be a lightning round, but we have to do it because we just have to do it. Bridget sends me a list of questions that she's sending earlier, and she says to me,
I need to.
She puts biggest dick on the show. So
Yeah.
You know how she meant that,
Yes.
but you know how I meant it. So go ahead.
So you can answer both. Wait.
One I could answer and one I couldn't.
Okay, great.
Let's say, because we didn't have like a communal shower.
Okay.
Like we would.
So you don't know.
We had roommates.
So you don't
All
know Becky's
right.
version of the
You don't know
answer,
my
but you can
version, but
answer
you can
mine.
ask. You
Correct.
can answer Bridget.
Maybe Katie would. Yeah.
Ask.
her.
We'll ask her.
Yeah. So I would say Carl was kind of off.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't a dick. I just didn't understand what he was doing. Like he just came out of nowhere with this like, people aren't here for the right reasons,
Yes,
and I'm not going to tell
I
you
agree.
who. And then we're like, who?
People aren't
Like,
here
and
for
he's
the
like,
right reasons.
I'm not going to put someone on blast. It's like you are.
But you already are putting someone on blast.
I thought that
I
was
feel like
a-
everyone else hated Thomas too.
Thomas is a good dude.
Well, I saw him on Bachelor in Paradise. I thought he was
He's
great.
a good dude.
Would you ever go on Bachelor in Paradise? I know we're getting away from our
No.
lightning round. You wouldn't.
No.
Why?
It's just not like my vibe.
Yeah.
Like,
Is that like where you just like have like a whole bunch of partners?
No, it's like, okay, it'll start out with, say, 12 people
Yeah.
from all different seasons of The Bachelor and Bachelorette. They start making connections, but as it goes on, new people arrive. So people are getting kicked off because like the guys will give the rose to the girls. So obviously not everyone gets a rose. So some girls will leave, but then new girls will come in, and it just
like
happens.
relationships get tested.
Yeah, she's like, okay, I didn't need to know much.
Yeah.
Of that. So it is
Okay.
interesting. Okay, sorry, one more Bachelor question.
Yep,
I'm
please.
just
I
too
mean,
into
I
it.
am here for the
So
best since I didn't watch this season. I watched.
You've been the favorite to be the next Bachelor. Is that still a possibility, and would you ever do it?
No, they just announced it.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. It's just,
It's for-
Clayton guy
It is
from.
for sure?
Yeah,
Clayton?
yeah.
Well, I heard that it was like, okay, we thought it was going to be you, possibly Greg, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, actually it's someone from Michelle's season.
Yeah. Clayton's season.
know
I
if
think
it
I think it started filming like
Oh,
a
it already
couple
started
weeks
filming.
ago. Yeah.
Are you sad? That's not you?
No.
You turned it down?
No, not necessarily.
But would you do it?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Okay, the very vague answer.
You heard
but
it
it's
here
fine.
first.
Anyways, back to lightning round.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
took
yeah,
a timeout.
yeah.
We're warning, like, you got to be quick on these lightning, and we're like, timeout. We actually have to get away from
Nothing
it.
you've ever done in life has been
Yeah,
quick,
I
by
know,
the way.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, except the way I speak, but
Yeah,
it's fine.
okay.
Your favorite movie?
Ex Machina.
Never heard of it. Okay.
Favorite podcast other than Almost Rich, Almost
No,
Famous?
I was gonna say favorite podcast, so you better say us.
I'd probably say.
Say almost rich, almost famous.
You
Almost
can't.
Rich, Almost Famous, probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Great.
That's fun. Have you ever had a one night stand?
Yeah.
I knew.
How many?
Yeah. Enough to fill a calendar.
Okay, great. Wow. Hidden talents.
So I write. I also am a great cook.
Okay.
Like I'll make homemade pasta.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
I'll go for it.
Let's do this next time at your house.
Yeah.
Great.
Would you rather be rich or famous?
Oh, definitely rich.
See, it's just so
It's just
silly.
silly
Everyone
question.
always says that. I mean, I get it, kind of. I like money too, but
You rather be famous?
yeah,
I guess the question is what are you famous for?
true. So people,
Because I would give up wealth to be famous for something that was better for
Thank you.
the whole.
Yeah, I say that all the time. People don't get it, and they're like, Bridget, there's easy ways to get famous. I'm like, no, I'm not like stripping. I'm not taking out my clothes. I'm not making a porno. I'm not going to do something outlandish. Like, I don't want to be famous for
Which
that.
stripper is famous for stripping?
Black China.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Malia, or what's her name? Malaya. She was like in a whole bunch of Drake songs. There are actually a lot of famous strippers.
Oh.
A lot
So-
of famous strippers.
See, that's the thing. Like,
So yeah, I don't want to be
I'm
famous
missing
for
a
that.
generation.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I don't know Black China.
What? Yeah, Nicki Minaj,
yeah, she
like
counts.
rapper.
She was a
yeah,
stripper?
she was
Yeah.
a stripper.
Oh.
Nene Leakes. also.
Yeah.
But okay, whatever.
I mean, apparently a lot of people strip and get famous. So
Let's
you know,
head on down to the Hustler after
yeah,
this.
well,
Yeah,
we'll head on
right.
to the
Let's
strip
see
club
what
after
you
this.
can do on that
go
call.
change locales.
It looks like our tequila is almost gone. It's just a few kids from Akron hanging out on Almost Rich, Almost Famous with Bets and Bridge. You are even better than I ever expected.
Oh,
I fell
stop.
in love with you on The Bachelorette. You've been a joy to be on
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you so much for
Thanks
joining
for
us.
having me. So good
Thanks.
to see
You
you.
can come back anytime.
Well, I'll be here.
Cheers.
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 Sounds.